Hello, and welcome to Zen Maintenance with me, Christine Burke. This is a podcast about self care and self discovery for every age and every stage of life. In this podcast, we use the wisdom teachings of yoga and related well being practices to discover more about who you are and how to live your healthiest, happiest, most liberated life, one breath, one day at a time. So I'm thrilled that you're here to join me today, especially thrilled because we're launching into a new season, the season of spring. So if you're here for the first time and you've chosen spring to plant the seeds for your well-being, it couldn't be more perfect. And welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you are a regular listener or watcher on YouTube, welcome back. I love this community that we're growing and expanding. I love the sharing. I'm so honored to be here for all of you. So today it's all about spring, such as lessons from spring about becoming more of who you're meant to be, and how spring is a door opening to your most inspired life. And I don't want you to miss it. And we're going to ask the question, what's so special about spring? How can spring move me forward in my life and give me the power to activate more life force, or in yoga terms, more prana and more peace of mind? Now, maybe, like me, you're a spring enthusiast and you find yourself getting perky and creative and excited this time of year. Maybe you crave being outside and you notice every little bud, or maybe you're one of the people who feel like spring is just a placeholder between the cozy, festive cuddle of winter and the freedom and romance of summer. Maybe you feel that it's hard to dress because the weather is as unpredictable as your moods. It's too windy, then it's hot, then it's back to a sudden cold front just when you put away your coats. Yes, spring can be very mercurial and have many faces, like a Gemini. Well, no matter how we feel about the weather and seasons, they come, they go. It does what it wants out there in nature, and it is not in our control. And if we know anything from our deep dives into ancient wisdom, we know that putting too much of our attention on what we can't control is a fool's errand with dire outcomes for our peace of mind. But something the ancient traditions can teach us is how to use the seasons to enhance our lives, to give us momentum, to balance energy, and to be in the flow with the universe. So that's where we're headed today. Today, we are going to answer the question I'm posing. What's so special about spring? And why should I pay attention? Could this spring really be life-changing? Yes, it could. And before we drop in and get calm and relaxed and open to all this bright energy, I want to tell you about my upcoming program. Now, this is my first official sponsor on the Zen Maintenance Podcast. And this sponsor I can really get behind. And I promise I will only share things that I really believe in and trust. And this one happens to be me. So as you may or may not know, I've been teaching yoga for 26 years. This includes teacher trainings, workshops, retreats, online empowerment, and lifestyle courses. I've written 3 yoga books, 2 of which have won awards, and I've been self-care coaching for at least half of that time. I work with people every day to live their lives more fully, creatively, and healthfully with less stress and more joy. So what I'm saying is that I'm passionate and dedicated about what I do, and this upcoming program is no exception. It's Spring Transformation, a 5-day program. And if you're here on YouTube, you can see this is the flyer, okay? And I'm going to read it to you. Spring Transformation with Christine Burke, a 5-day morning routine home retreat that will change your energy. Join me for a very special spring cleaning experience that will refresh and revitalize you in 1 week from your own home. Each morning, we will get an early start and be intentional about manifesting the best and brightest energy possible through affirmations, cleansing elixir recipes, chanting, qigong, yoga, meditation, and journaling together. This program is curated to match the season and assist you in detoxing your mind, body, and spirit. The morning is the most important time of the day to tap into your power, and together we will create calm, peace, and clarity with boosted energy and radiance that will set you up for a truly transformational spring. So if this sounds good to you, email me, Christine at zenmaintenancepodcast.com, and I'll give you all the details. I'm extremely passionate about sharing a morning routine with you. And if it doesn't work for you in terms of the timing, you can't get up that early, you have a busy house, busy life, you can take the recordings, pick a 5-day schedule for yourself that works, and just do them consistently. I promise you, you will feel a massive shift. And this is the perfect time of year for that. So, thank you so much for listening to my first official sponsor, wink, wink. And now we're back to our regularly scheduled programming, which is time to relax, time to meditate, time to get present. So, as I always say, if you are moving, if you are on the go, today's a day where you fit this in. You fit it in the car, you fit it in while you're running or doing chores or anything at all. Beautiful. Congratulations. It takes a lot of effort and commitment to keep up with yourself and to keep up with your self-care and to keep growing. So, whatever you're doing, you're just going to let that be enough, but soften and relax into it. Any sort of overthinking, any moving too quick, any kind of mindless momentum, we're going to pause. I'm going to let you just feel like even while you're moving through things, you're taking a breath. And if you're sitting like I am in a chair, or you happen to be lying down, get really comfortable and close your eyes. And let's just start with a grounding, earthy breath. Together, take a breath in, let it go and drop down into your seat or into your feet. And let's get acquainted with the ground beneath us, because at this time of year, the ground is alive more than it was in winter, possibly more than any other time of the year. It's percolating, it's generating, and it's pushing things up to the surface so they can bloom. And any good bloom, any beautiful manifestation of nature starts with deep roots. Roots that are well fertilized, roots that are allowed to dig in and expand, roots that are hydrated, nourished, and safe. So we're breathing into the energy of earth. In your body, this is from your pelvic floor to your feet, and it's known as the root chakra or Muladhara. And it's all about feeling stable and secure, looked after and supported and grounded so that you can grow. So we're feeling our bodies, which are so much a part of earth. And we're feeling wherever they're touching the ground that we have roots. And yes, these roots are your history, your family, they're your experiences, they're your past, but they are also very much your present. They are ever growing, ever deepening, bringing you wisdom from all that has come before and all that is before you right now. Every single day, you are a little bit different, a little bit wiser, a little more experienced at being you. No matter where you are in your life cycle, every day you have grown a little more than the day before. So as you start to drop into your feet, your legs, your seat, you're owning this moment. You're owning your growth. You're recognizing that the passage of time is making you stronger, wiser, deeper. And you can relax into that. Relax into being in the right place at the right time, always for growth. Keep breathing slowly and deeply, experiencing the security of this, the contentment of this. I am in the right place at the right time for growth, and I am here to grow. Relaxing into that, like a plant relaxes into the earth in order to reach higher toward the sky. Feeling your breath, which is your life force, which is prana, nourishing those roots. Extracting from your experience the nuggets of wisdom that carry you forward, that light your path for the future. Extracting from those roots confidence of what you've been through, what you've overcome, how you've transformed, and will continue to. Extracting from those roots the desire to reach up, to keep reaching in life, to keep moving toward the light. We are honoring where we are poised and ready as this season drops into your heart, puts some zing in your life, put some pep in your step. And you're relaxing into it. You're relaxing into the natural cycle of living and seasons and you. Not only is this a new season that we mark by weather and the calendar and the shifts and changes in nature, but it's a new season for you. A new beginning with the foundation of all that has come before underneath you to shore you up, to hold you up, to lift you up, to help you reach. You can hold the image of a little child being lifted up by a parent reaching to the top of the tree to grab an apple with a smile on their face. This is you with the support of the earth underneath you and all of your life behind you so far, reaching up with your arms to bring in something delightful. Maybe something new, maybe a fresh perspective. Just letting yourself be calm, be in trust, be at ease about it all. Right now, can you be at ease about it all? Maybe for a few breaths. Maybe for a whole day. All right, we're going to start to take some deeper breaths here, like you're smelling your favorite spring flower. And it's delightful. And then take one more of those and let it go with a little letting go sigh. Okay. If your eyes were closed, go ahead and open them. All right. So now that we are relaxed and blooming, let's talk about why spring is so special. Yogis view spring as a time of profound renewal, detoxification, and awakening, and it mirrors nature's transition from winter slumber to vibrant growth. It's seen as a very pivotal, very important upward moving energy season where we can shed old habits and physical heaviness, and we can start a fresh start in body and mind. So, when we think about that fresh start or that new beginning, we just did a meditation about our roots and we dropped into what we've been building so far in our lives so that we can draw on that energy and feel very firm and grounded in the present. But the purpose of that is not only to be firm and grounded in the present, but to give us the impulse, the natural inclination or impetus to move up, right? To ascend, to aspire, to be inspired. So, some of the key aspects of the yogic view of spring include detoxification and cleansing. Because in order to grow up, to aspire, to lift, we can't be carrying a lot of heavy baggage, right? Our roots are there to shore us up, not to drag us down. So, yogis consider spring the prime time for cleansing, to release the stagnation, the sluggishness, the accumulation of heaviness during winter or slowness. Originally, we were designed to slow down because resources like food were less plentiful at that time of year, and the cold required that we conserve our energy. So, less light in the day, less energy. But even if you live in a sunny climate with a Whole Foods on every corner, our bodies are still linked to the cycles of Earth, and we are sensitive to the shift in spring. This could mean removing certain irritants from your diet and lifestyle. It could mean committing to hydration as water helps things move through and out. It could mean limiting exposure to drama and stress when possible. The next thing we're going to talk about is heart opening. This season is associated with the heart chakra, known as anahata. And the element of the heart chakra is air. And there's so much fresh air in spring. There's always a little breeze, sometimes a big wind. Things are shifty and moving around, and air really features at this time of year. And the heart chakra is all about encouraging compassion and love and opening up to one another emotionally. And I would say to yourself, being honest with yourself about your emotions and listening to them with greater care, taking more time. Spring is known as a time to fall in love. So fall in love with your life. Start looking at your life not to see what needs fixing or changing, but what is already beautiful, what's delighting you now. Then we can set the intention for more of this so we can grow more in your garden of what you love. If we only look at the weeds, we miss the little buds that are trying to be seen and come through. So just taking enough time to pause and literally smell the roses that are blooming and notice them. Notice what's going right. Notice all that you've accomplished already. Let it give you the confidence to start to step forward into that new, fresh spring energy. Something else we can do is practicing what's called active renewal, or moving from slow and restorative activities, which are in tune with winter energy, to more invigorating, heating, and active flows that build vitality for the upcoming summer. Bring in more heat and sunlight. This time of year is the perfect time. We have longer days to start to pull in that sunlight consciously, pull in that growth energy from the sun. So by the time we get to summer, we are ready. We are vibrating. We are filled with light. So we can set some intentions similar to planting seeds. This is a time to set new goals and cultivate fresh perspectives, to use the roots to keep us grounded so that we feel content and confident, and then to get excited about what's new, what's coming, what can I invite in. And in this way, we welcome the eternal beginning. Now, let's talk about that. We could call it a beginner's mind, which is a Zen Buddhist concept of approaching life with openness and curiosity, with a lack of preconceptions. We don't need to know everything all the time, but being eager to learn, letting go of rigidity and the need to control everything, and to open to a more childlike wonder and creativity. And we have a previous podcast all about wonder. And even though it was in the holiday season, there's so much wonder in spring. So you might, if you like this concept, go back to that podcast, bring it together with this one, and give yourself a little extra boost. Think about children, right? They're constantly in a state of wonder and creativity. They're just so happy to be alive, as is all of nature. And we see it all around us in spring. As a matter of fact, as I was setting up for the podcast, I was looking out this window. If you're on YouTube, you can see this window behind me. And there were these two frolicking squirrels chasing each other over the rooftops. It was the most joyful, spontaneous example of spring I could have imagined. And I took it as a good sign that today was a good day to record this podcast. So keep your eyes open, it's everywhere. Something that can help us with this concept is the practice of choosing again. So if you get out of the beginner's mind, if you get out of feeling that childlike wonder and you're feeling the weight of responsibilities and you're feeling a little heavy again, and you might get going in the wrong direction. Like, let's say you wake up in a bad mood and you're complaining and you're feeling life's pressure and it's weighing you down, and you decide it's going to be a stressful day because you have things to do on this day that you don't enjoy, are hard, or even painful. So you try to relieve some of that pressure by venting or complaining, only to discover you feel a bit worse rather than better. Now, venting and complaining can be cathartic, and we do need to release those pent up emotions, but we don't want to make a life of it. That's a habit that does not lead us down the path of wellness and vitality. It robs our joy. But it's okay. It's never too late to save the day. You just pause, take a breath, and say to yourself, choose again, choose again. It's like I was going down a good path, and then I diverted and I found myself on this dark and sort of emotionally dangerous path. I'm going to choose another path. I'm going to choose again. Or maybe you woke up on that dark and dangerous path. Catch yourself. Pick something you're grateful for in that moment. I'm so grateful that I get to be here with my Zen maintenance community. I can't express enough the joy of being able to connect with you in this way. So, truth be told, I got off on one of those bad paths very recently. I started to kind of roll down the negative momentum, roller coaster. Or actually, it wasn't even a roller coaster. It was sort of just straight down like a slide to, too much, overwhelmed, can't keep up. But I apply everything that I share here rigorously, committedly, and with great discipline often. So I did. I put the brakes on. I took a breath. I said, choose again, Christine, choose again. I thought of something I'm grateful for, which happens to be this podcast. And then I began again. And you know what? That was a great day. Maybe for you, something a little detail will show up right now, like a delicious warm mug of coffee or tea, or maybe your pet who's greeting you with love, maybe the morning light or the sound of the birds, which are so plentiful in spring. Just some simple, wonderful details of your life bring you into the moment and help you choose a new approach. Your magnificent brain might feel like it's running the show in all the wrong directions sometimes, but honestly, it's following the lead of what you give it and what you fill it with. And by you, I mean your awareness, your consciousness, right? You and your brain, the part of you that knows you have a brain, and your brain work together, or sometimes work at odds. But we are giving our brains information. We're choosing what we take in, what we don't take in, and the brain does with it what it needs to do with it. So when you notice that you've gone off track and you're feeling worse, pause and choose again. We have this incredibly powerful mechanism called the RAS, or reticular activating system, and you may be familiar with it. It's really having its moment. We hear a lot about it, which is wonderful. But in case you're not familiar with it, its job is to build a case, to gather evidence for what you're telling it to see. So if you constantly point out the flaws and problems and darkness in the world or your life, it obediently runs around gathering evidence for your claim. It's like a wonderful paralegal doing all the work behind the scenes. And then you're sitting in the middle of the feeling that, well, I'm right and I'm vindicated. Yep, life is overwhelming. It's filled with struggle, but you feel stressed and distressed and terrible. And being right about that doesn't really feel very good. And it's only part of the truth anyway. This is not just delusional wishful thinking when we choose the bright side, the sunny side of the street. It's brain science. We are rewiring toward the light for resilience. Spring is the perfect time for this. Each spring, nature chooses life. Yay, life. Again, everything wakes up feeling brand new. The same tree on your street is blooming, but it's new flowers. In yoga, the term for life force, as I mentioned, is prana. And we spend a good amount of time increasing our access to our life force, prana, and learning to dance with it through breath, meditation, mindfulness, yoga poses, and other lifestyle choices. One way to boost your energy in this is to release more oxytocin and endorphins and less cortisol. Choosing again can lower your cortisol. It can put you back, your mind and body, and your consciousness into a healing mode. It can start to raise your vibration, to release the chemicals in your body that elevate your life force. So wake up early, welcome the sun, shake off the inertia, aim to rise before 6:30 a.m. Keep a light, fresh daily rhythm. Declutter spaces, even little spaces. We've talked a lot about this on the podcast. It doesn't have to be your whole house or even a whole room. Just one little space, one little drawer can really make a difference. Refresh your routines. More walking in nature. Breathe in the newness of growth and life. Ooh, and one of my favorite springtime activities, which can be done anytime, but packs an extra punch this time, is dry brushing before bathing. So if you don't know much about dry brushing, go look it up on the old internet or email me. I'm happy to share. But you basically get a wooden dry brush with soft boar bristles, ones that don't scrape your skin. So you can go from very inexpensive to luxury. They all work. It really just matters that you have one that doesn't hurt your skin. And you do a nice vigorous, if you're on YouTube, you can see me vigorously brushing my arm with my hand up toward the heart. And you do this before bathing, and it stimulates your lymph and circulation. Self-massage, using warming oils like mustard or sesame seed or olive oil. These things are bringing us into the nature of our bodies. They're moving the energy. They're cleaning your system, detoxifying, and they're also acts of self-love. And that's always a good thing. Practice discipline and momentum. Don't let that inertia lull you back to sleep, right? Once it's time to rise, rise. Get yourself moving and breathing. Drink a glass of water. All the basics really, really come into play in spring because it is a resurrection. It is a renewal. It is a rebirth. And when you're coming to life in the morning, it's very much like a spring every morning, right? Coming back to life. Now, one of the mental conditions of the mind at this time of year can be difficulty focusing. Scattered energy, like the weather and the wind, and it can feel like peaks and valleys. You have a brilliant idea and it evaporates before you can catch it. So rituals and rhythms, discipline and momentum right now are going to be especially important to stay grounded and focused so you can really harness and capture the brilliance of this season. We can also be inspired to cultivate more trust. As nature returns to color before our very eyes and what looked dead lives again, we are reminded to trust something beyond us. So I have this tree in my front yard. Every year, it'll go dead as a doornail, and I mean crispy and sort of blackish and really looks beyond resurrection. And each spring, as I would be hopeful, but honestly with a bit of a doubtful heart, I would watch it push out a bud, and then two, and eventually a whole pink tree. Finally, I stopped doubting and came to trust it. And then this year, no more pink blooms. It is actually done. It is actually dying. And rather than feeling too much sadness, I felt that its life cycle was complete and that we have been on this journey together, on this ride together. And that I would always remember all that my little tree that could with the pink blooms taught me about hope, trust, and letting go. We have to love what we have while it's here rather than spend too much time in the fear of losing it, because everything has its time to bloom and everything has its time to go. So I bid farewell to my beautiful pink tree, but I know that something else is already on its way beneath the surface. And we, you and I, all of us, are blooming right now. So let's relax again, and we're going to drop into the spring feeling of the present moment at hand and see what we can start conjuring. So again, If you're on the move, stay alert. Keep your hands on the wheel or the handlebars or your vacuum cleaner. Well, probably you're not vacuuming, but you know what I mean. Stay safe and present. Those of you who are in a relaxing position, relax even more. Let out a couple of breaths. Good. There's a lot of energy pouring out from me to you. I've come filled with the brightness of prana to share. So please open up. Let your heart soften and relax. If you're able to in your seat, pull your shoulders back a little bit. Receive the energy from the universe and from me. Let it fill you in the places where you might feel a little too empty. Let it warm you in the places where you might feel a little cold. Let it love you in the places where you might feel a lack of love. And settle. So the heart chakra has a color, a primary color, as all of our energy centers do, and this one happens to be green. And the main theme of the heart chakra happens to be balance. So you can see why the yogis linked the heart chakra to spring. It restores balance to nature, and green is growth and resilience and the eternal youth that lives in all of us. No matter if you're above 100 or teeny tiny, our souls are young, deep, and wise, and there are old souls, but the oldest of souls have the youngest of energy because they come to the beginner's mind, because they live in wonder, and we can too. As you relax and feel your breath in that heart center, and you draw in your favorite version of green, or perhaps many versions of green, we're going to breathe that into every cell. Each time you take an inhale, you're pulling in the promise of new growth, new beginnings, new experiences. And that energy is moving into every cell in your body. Every cell carries your consciousness. Every cell carries your life force. And you're coming alive like billions of tiny little leaves sprouting. And you're breathing it in, and it's fresh, and it's calm, and it's grounded, but it's also excited. That energy is excited to be here. To be here on this day with this gift of your life. That little bloom that pushes through the heavy hardness of earth to find the light is you. And we do it over and over. And each time we're stronger. And each time we know more about the beauty of the light. And we want it a little more. And we find it a little easier. And we know what to do with it. We take that light, we breathe it, we absorb it, and we become it. We become it in our relationships. We become it in our projects, in our downtime, in our rest time, in our work. In every way, we embody the light. Just like the flower, the leaf, the bush, the tree embodies, breathes in, holds, and grows from the energy of the light, so do you. And another word that we could use for light is love. The flower loves the sun. The tree loves the sky. The universe loves you. And you love life. Let's not be afraid of losing it. Let's sit and be in it and explore and absorb and celebrate today. Taking a long, slow breath in through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. And gently starting to reawaken with your eyes opening. Okay. I was leaning so forward in my reaching toward the light, I went past the microphone. So my zest for the light might have shifted your experience as the sound changed, but it's all good. It's all as it's meant to be. So we're going to finish with a mudra. And if you're on YouTube, you can look at it. And if not, and you are able to do it, as in you're not driving or riding a bicycle or holding something, you can just try this by listening. Okay, we bring the heels of our hands together, the base of the palms, the pinkies, and the thumbs. All the other fingers are fanning out like a flower. Lotus bud mudra. And then we're closing our eyes again and we're finishing with gratitude. Gratitude for what is blooming in your life already right now. There are seeds percolating. They're under the soil and they're getting ready to come. There are things that you've already achieved, finished, and enjoyed. But there are things right now in your life that are in full bloom. Let's make sure we notice and appreciate. Padma mudra, full blooming lotus. Okay. And then relaxing your hands and once more opening your eyes if they were closed. Thank you so much for being here with me, for being here with you. If you found this podcast to be of value, if it makes your life a little brighter and a little better, please subscribe right now. Do it now. Don't do it later. And I send you all the best spring wishes. And remember, love is in the air. So get outside and breathe it in. Until I see you next time, the light within me honors the light within you. Namaste. See you soon.